Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Maduforo. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello, and welcome to Law Simplified with Justice. I am Justice Maduforo. I'm a solicitor of the Senior Court of England and Wales, and also a barrister solicitor of the Supreme Court of Nigeria. I am Police Station and Magistrate Court Duty Solicitor of England and Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, accredited and approved and licensed and authorized by the Ministry of Justice to represent you at the police station free of charge, all the way to Magistrate Court subject to means testing, or through to the Crown Court, Court of Appeal, and Supreme Court. And even review your case, despite the fact that you've been convicted and sentenced and your appeal failed. We can also take the matter to the review commission to see how to review the evidence in your case and decide whether it is safe to sustain conviction or safe to sustain sentence, especially on conviction. Ladies and gentlemen, I am very thorough when I take on your matter, and you are a testament to that fact. The matters of which I discuss on this platform are matters within my competence and skills, from litigation to advocacy in all courts in England and Wales. Ladies and gentlemen, litigation, or whatnot, advice, representation, drafting, that you can count on me. You can count on Tice Madox Solicitors. On that note, you know that I've brought several topics on the show. I've discussed immigration, I've discussed criminal law, I've discussed contracts. I've discussed contracts, ladies. Yes, contracts. And that contract you have with your business ventures going forward, ongoing businesses, business that's failed, with your bank, these are all contracts. And no matter how small you think they are, all the way to employment law and all to family law, to litigation in general, for matters, every matter in the county court, against the bank, against your employers, whatever it is you're claiming, against the house association, whatever the application or whatever litigation you're going through in the county court in England and Wales, you count on me. You count on Tice Madox Solicitors. I move on. I'm always excited to bring topics here because I am emancipating someone. I am getting someone to the right place in order not to continue in your slumber. I am directing you and signposting you to Tice Madox Solicitors so that your matter can be swiftly dealt with, also with less expense. Yes, with less expense. Let me crack on with the topic I have for you today. And obviously, you can watch our program, as I said, on YouTube and all the other channels, and consistently on this TV program. Let me tell you and give this warning that whatever I say on this program, they are not legal advice. Yes, they are not legal advice. Therefore, you must not act on whatever you hear me speak on this program. Rather, you must come to take tailor-made advice, bespoke advice, tailor-made for you, hassle-free and affordable, so that you will know your foundation is strong to sustain a case you're already going forward, or a case you're about to launch in, or a matter that you've already ignored. Instruction and advice is key to tailor your circumstance, to tailor the case laws, to tailor the rules, to tailor the statute in your circumstance, and also to bring forth before you a formidable advice that you can then rely on. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this with the force of law because some of you need to be reminded on the fact that a proper advice is a key to sustaining success. The topic today is immigration, and my topic will be immigration succeeding on technicalities. Immigration succeeding on technicalities. I repeat again, immigration succeeding on technicalities. What do I mean by that? You know, I'm always very excited to bring in topics on the show. Why? Because matters I bring on and discuss on here are matters that I have succeeded on. Therefore, you are hearing from success. You're hearing from the success itself. So that's why I bring this topic to discuss them. Not matters that are theory, but are practical, tangible matters that have been dealt with and succeeded. And all the avenues and paraphernalia of avenues and ingredients of which is needed to launch out the success is what I kickstart your consciousness on. So that when you come to take proper instruction, you're on the right path. You are on the right path. Some of you don't understand that professionalism cuts across different fields of expertise. Just like you always go to your GP, your general practitioner will examine you. That examination will lead whether to refer you to a consultant or to refer you to a test or refer you to an X-ray, scan, whatever it is. But without that examination, the consultant cannot begin to see you because it needs to be referred from your GP based on what they have found. From there onwards, series of tests will be run, series of examination, series of observation will be run on you. Now, medical is not exception to law. It's not exception to legal. And as a trained specialist with dual qualification on two jurisdictions, with enormous potential and enormous credibility when it comes to legal matters which I deal with, of which I'm an expert in. And therefore, I must make sure that you understand how your matter starts and pans out, which means that I must take instruction from you and advise you. That is the foundation. If you come to my office to just chat or to give you yes or no answer, then you don't need to come. You need to go elsewhere because I am thorough. And that is a foundation of which I'll be able to sustain your case or not as a professional. As a professional, I am very willing, the firm is very willing to advise you and to talk to you. But you must engage with the policy, the principles laid down, not just by the firm, but by the regulators. But by those who regulate us, by the code of our conduct, by the code and the principles of which we as an expert, as a solicitor must abide, which means that I must take into account full detailed instruction from you and advise you. It is in your best interest. So do not shy away from it. Do not wish it away. Do not walk over it. Do not just say, give me yes or no answer. I will not. Because as a qualified and seasoned professional, I must make sure that you are properly examined and clerked and consulted. I am talking about immigration succeeding on technicalities. Now, this topic is not only based on immigration. Matters of law are matters of which you can succeed based on the narrow way or on the broad way. The broad way is simply yes or no. It's in the black and white. But because legal matters are not always on the black and white, legal matters are sometimes gray. In the sense that is the gray part of it is what presents the technicalities. Now, the reason for this is that peculiarities of individuals and circumstances of individuals ensures that their circumstances is taken into account in totality, which means that your circumstance will provide us with an ample opportunity, ample position of which we can run on the gray areas. The gray areas turn black and white at the end of the day when we expand on that. Now, what do I mean by that? When you make application to the Home Office, you have your head knowledge the application succeeds. Yes, that's wonderful. In the real sense of it, that's correct. However, it doesn't necessarily translate to that in the sense that those applications are refused on very simple things you ignore. Those applications are refused on certain principles and based on the fact that you do not meet the threshold required under the rules. Now, if you don't meet those under the rules, or you met them under the rules, but the caseworker acting on behalf of the Secretary of State and ignored certain aspect in terms of its proper and detailed analysis. When they miss that point, now you're going to be trading on what is called to revamp the case back by arguing that there was an error in the determination of the caseworker based on the fact that one of these points were not taken into consideration. Now, some of you are not always in that circumstance, in that position. Some of your positions are that of which that we must trade on technicalities. Technicalities are another aspect called equity. In legal terms, the court considers and makes decisions based on the common law, and also because the court is infused and equipped with the power to also determine matters equitably. So the equity part of it is where the court considers the circumstances now. That is not a black and white, which means it's gray. Can this gray color turn to black and white if we detail analysis into that? If we lift the veil to look at this position, this circumstance of this individual? That's what the court will be asking itself. But the court would not ask itself those questions if you do not direct them correctly. That is what Tice Madox Solicitors stands for. That is what I stand for, to direct the court in those gray areas of which they can now begin to reflect on the fact that the gray areas can actually envelop to such an extent that it may now turn to be the icebreaker to hand you over success. Now, this topic is technical, of which the position is itself technical. And it runs not only in immigration, as I said, in matters of contract, in matters of employment law, in matters of criminal law, in matters of family law disputes whatsoever, in matters of litigations have to do in court, be it any negligence proceedings against professionals, be it any other as field. Technicalities are what actually wins a case. Let me blow your mind now, statistically, by telling you that most cases that are won in court, out of 100%, 65% succeed on technicalities. That's correct. But because you as a litigant in person, you acting through a representative who is ill-equipped, incompetent to understand the technicalities, the road and the thread to tread upon, then they will miss out on those technicalities. Now, guess what? That's what we catches. That's what Tice Madox Solicitors stand for. We stand to understand those gray areas and turn it to your benefit. Ladies and gentlemen, I am discussing technicalities. I'm discussing technicalities. Immigration succeeding on technicalities. To tell you that in matters of immigration, I have succeeded more on technicalities more than the common law positions or the rules. Let me expand that more. But before I do that, let me take a quick short break. Don't just change the tie. I remain Justice Maduforo. I'll be back in a while.
Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.
Hello. Welcome back to Law Simplified with Justice. Before I took a short break, I did introduce to you and I was discussing with you the technicalities, the chances and the rate of success when you run your matters in court on technicalities. Technicalities are part of which the court determines dispute, determines cases, determines claim before it. Because the court doesn't know it all, you know. The court don't know it all. The court relies on the advocate, the court relies on the litigator, the court relies on the solicitor to guide it. Yes, to guide it properly. So it depends on who you are contesting against. If you are a litigant or you are the defendant, whichever position or divide that you find yourself, the issue is about how you propound a defense or a claim that will succeed. A defendant wants to defend, wants to succeed. A claimant wants to succeed. Applicant wants to succeed. The respondent wants to succeed. The petitioner in the family proceedings wants to succeed. The respondent wants to succeed. The appellant on appeal wants to succeed. The respondent wants to succeed. There are two competitive forces against one goal. That goal is success. And these two competitive forces come before a judge that hears both sides arguing. then in the normal sense of it, the one that pressurizes the judge to make a meaning out of the argument is where the judge sways to. So if your argument does not make meaning or does not make sense, but even if it does make sense, it's uncorroborated by evidence. Even if it's corroborated by evidence, it is little weight to attach to that evidence. If there's little weight to attach to that evidence, which means that the evidence will be disregarded. Now, the essence of having a solicitor like me, who understand the weight of evidence to present, who understand how to corroborate a case to succeed, who understand how to infuse recent case laws, relevant case laws to succeed in the appeal in the First Church Tribunal, Upper Tribunal, Court of Appeal, High Court of Justice, or to the Supreme Court, European Court of Justice. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you need. I am fierce. I am thorough. I am thorough in the sense that when I tell you your case, do not have hope. Take it from me. However, obviously, the gut factor will also come in. You see, I keep telling people also, the gut factor is also very key when you make an argument and threading on technicalities. The favor of God upon the litigant, upon the advocate, upon me will ensure that that favor translates for the judge to accept my technicalities, but sound technicalities, not just running on empty technicalities, but on sound technicalities. This topic is unusual from what I've been discussing with you before, or what I discussed in this program, because this is now purely advocacy. Advocacy skills, cum, or via, or stroke, are litigation. Litigation that is run on technicalities, and advocacy that is sustained in First Church Tribunal, Upper Tribunal, Court of Appeal, High Court, or High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court, on technicalities will succeed if the technicalities make sense. If the technicalities forms a new jurisprudence, forms a new case law, forms a new status, forms a new policy, a new guidance that makes sense. You see, the judges want you to convince them. Convince me so that I can stay away or I will walk away from the already known decision or already known position of either by the law or the rules or by previous case laws. The judges depend on that. You see, so when you run these appeals in the First Church Tribunal, Immigration Tribunal, and you think you know what, you just go tell your story. Of course, you can go tell your stories. But sometimes you tell your stories ignoring the fact that there are rules of evidence that guides the tribunal. These rules of evidence are what I'm trained to understand. You see, there's a difference between you running that tribunal appeal yourself than I am running it with you. I streamline the issues. I bring to fore the issues, and I've equipped it with corroborated and investigatory evidence of which to convince the judge. In failure to do so, I run it on technicalities. So, therefore, focusing that appeal on two broad ways, which is number one, in the common law, the other one on equity, trading on the common law and trading on technicalities, in such a way that if your case does not, on the face of it, prima facie substantiate the fact, then technicalities can do the magic. Ladies and gentlemen, this is law. It's like architecture. You draw the map, and the next thing, this building stands strong. You look at it and say, wow, what a wonderful building. You know why? Because somebody sat down and drafted how it should look like. Imaginary, how this building will look like. This is an architect for you, okay? Or a doctor sat down and imagined how this constructive or cosmetic surgery will look and how you will look different from how you used to. That has been imagined and then reproduced expertly in such a way that it is not seen physically. The same is not exclusive from legal matters, because a sound litigator, a sound advocate like me will lay down the process, will lay down the roadmap to succeed in your case and begin to build them one after the other in such a way that it succeed not only in that application with the Home Office, it succeed also in court and appeal. Even if there is an appeal, ladies and gentlemen, there is also a better way to go higher. The difficulties I get from most of you in immigration is because of the insufficient fund. I understand that. But I can tell you this, and I keep saying to people, and you know that, and I keep saying it. If you want to remain in this country, you must not give up. You must continue to fight on, especially when you have a firm like Tice Madox Solicitors to fight with you. Especially if you have a solicitor like me, a competent, approved, and tested and trusted solicitor who can run your case with you on the same page like you, then why will you back out? If you back out, nothing is changing. If you back out and step down, nothing is transforming. It only gets better when you push ahead. In any time, at any stage, you feel you cannot push furthermore. And I always tell people this, you have to leave the United Kingdom. Make haste while the sun shines. The reason be that the more you stay, the Home Office is consistently using the threshold, using the fact that you've breached immigration rules by continuously overstaying. That is very fundamental. Some of you that are sitting on applications, the Home Office have come to say that you have been here without papers or without leave for a long time. And obviously, I keep using this word, precarious history, or that you have breached immigration rules. They use it this way these days now. They will say you breach immigration rules and therefore you're not, unless your matter stands in exceptionality. Ladies and gentlemen, dealing with succeeding on technicalities. Recently, in the case of Bill, it's a Jamaican case, where the Court of Appeal recently, 2016 decision by the Court of Appeal, upturning the decision of the upper tribunal. You see, the upper tribunal made by the president of the upper tribunal, President Upper Tribunal George McCloskey. Now, this is the Court of Appeal upturning that decision. Why? Because those who are presenting technicalities before the court have run and succeeded on it. This is a recent decision. That same decision, subsequently, in line with those decisions, are also a decision which was made in SS Nigeria. That was a case of a matter of upper tribunal reported in the weekly law report, and also the matter of another matter whereby the court also decided to veer off and stand on the tread line of technicalities, and of which it succeeded. Not only in family matters, especially between adults and the younger ones and teenagers, it has succeeded. And remember, I've always told you in this case that the court has also churned out a different approach. That approach leading to parenthood. The court has also vacated from their previous position, which means they are treaded on technicalities. That technicality is what I have been running on applications. The upper tribunal finally got it, of which that they have reversed the decisions of which the Home Office have been running previously, which means that cases that Home Office have refused previously on the wrong approach cannot come back to them for a review based on parenthood family life. The correct approach, which was now laid bare and completely stated by the upper tribunal, court of record. That is technicalities for you. You succeed on technicalities. You may not succeed on it in the court today. But you see, when that argument has gone in, it becomes a statute, it becomes a decided case of which that is taken into account and recorded, which means that the subsequent decisions will be looked at those terms, those technicalities that was wrong, to see whether or not the court can depart from its previous decisions. This is running and succeeding on technicalities. That's what I stand for, ladies and gentlemen. I stand on technicalities. I stand on the common law. But when I advise you, do that litigation for you and advocate for you in court, there are different ways it comes out on point, in the sense that if we succeed on common law, that's wonderful. Then also, I also look at the backup as well, the backup being succeeding on technicalities. But you cannot know that because I'm trained to understand and to run and succeed on technicalities. Both in immigration matters, employment, criminal, contract matters, family matters, and litigations that you can have. Ladies and gentlemen, it's always exciting to discuss this matter with you because I know that somebody out there is being transformed. Somebody out there is waking up from his slumber. Somebody out there understanding the purpose why they are here in the United Kingdom, understanding the purpose why the law is there. The law is not there to be blind. The law is there for you to use it, to translate it, to interpret it, to suit you. Yes, that is why I stand for justice, not the law. If you look at the law, you may not get justice. But I stand to give you justice in the sense that the technicalities, the equitable jurisdiction of the court is fusing in any argument I make for you. In any argument I present for you. In any argument Tice Madox Solicitors represents you on. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot overemphasize on the fact that you come to a one-stop shop, representation, litigation, advice, and advocacy, of which you go nowhere and you get the best result. Some of you that have come to this firm, you can testify. That's no point for us to scream on the successes. You all are testimonial on those successes of which Tice Madox Solicitors has already presented on your table. We continue to do so. We don't relent. We don't relent on our achievement of successes. We continue to improve on our successes. And I can tell you that. That is why this program signposts you to Tice Madox Solicitors so you can take the best representation, flexible advice, but highly professional and firm. Time is not on my side, you know that. However, pass the telephone number to whoever is watching this program, whoever you know that are having issues in immigration or whatever in the tribunal, running through deportation, running through removal, running through detention, running through bail in the first just upper tribunal, High Court of Justice, running through the Court of Appeal decisions, and you can get the best representation that can guide you, notify you, update you, and tell you whether you have chances of success, the percentage of successes that the week will give you. Why not take advantage of that? That's what time can permit me. I remain your usual regular host, Justice. I ask you to go check our YouTube programs on Law Simplified TV. Subscribe on our YouTube programs, and then you can see what we've discussed. Remember, none of them are legal advice, but signposting you and leading you to Tice Madox Solicitors. Telephone numbers on the screen. You can also add us on Facebook, Tice Madox Solicitors, or add us and tweet at us at Tice_Madox. Email address is there, inquiries at Tice Madox Solicitors. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of avenues are all there to reach us, and we can book an appointment to come to the office and see me one-on-one in a relaxed environment where you will have best representation, best advice. You can then continue to ride on and smile at. Till next time I come your way, I say, you take advantage of the best legal representation. Your time has come.
Law Simplified with Justice is anchored by Justice Maduforo. Tice Madox Solicitors is results-oriented, but with a distinctive approach tailored to our clients' needs in our specialist fields: immigration law, criminal law, employment law, commercial law, family law, and contracts law. We are well equipped in our litigation and advocacy for the benefit of our clients, corporates, and individuals. Why not visit us at 5 Oakfield House, Oakfield Road, Ilford, London, IG1 1EF. We are just 15 minutes from Liverpool Street Station. Tice Madox Solicitors. Try us. We are professional.